The Mothman is a legendary creature that has been the subject of folklore, mythology, and scientific study for over half a century. Modern sightings began in the area surrounding Point Pleasant, West Virginia in the late 1960s. The Mothman has since been spotted in various locations around the world. One of the most famous and well-documented Mothman sightings occurred on November 15, 1966, when two young couples were driving near an abandoned TNT plant outside of Point Pleasant. They reported seeing a large gray creature with wings that had glowing red eyes. The creature followed their car and eventually flew over it before disappearing into the night. Over 100 people claim to have seen the Mothman in Point Pleasant from 1966 to 1967, and the sightings were accompanied by strange phenomena such as electrical disturbances and radio interference. Some people also claim to have had premonitions or dreams of disasters, such as a collapse of the Silver Bridge, which occurred on December 15, 1967, killing 46 people. The Mothman has never hurt anyone, and witnesses include law enforcement and military personnel. In 1975, the Mothman was spotted in Binghamton, New York, and in 1978, it appeared in a mine in Freiburg, Germany. On April 25, 1986, a Mothman was seen in Chernobyl, Ukraine, the day of the nuclear disaster. In 1999, a Mothman was reported in Moscow. In 2001, the day of the 9/11 attacks, the Mothman was reported in New York City. In 2006, a Moscow was reported in Mexico City, and in 2009 in Mexico prior to the swine flu breakout. Since 2011, and in 2017, a Mothman was reported at Lake Michigan. In 2017, there was 55 sightings of the Mothman in Chicago. On the evening of January 10th, 2023, the Mothman was seen in Griffin, a small town in Georgia. The sighting was reported by several locals, including John Blackman, a truck driver, and Mary Henderson, a waitress. According to John, he was driving on a rural road just outside of Griffin when he saw a large creature fly overhead. At first, he thought it was a bird, but as it got closer, he realized that it was something else entirely. The creature was over 7 feet tall, with brown skin and bat-like wings that spanned at least 10 feet. It made a chirping sound and emitted high-pitched squeals. John estimated that it was flying at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. Mary saw a man-sized bat with red eyes perched on the 6th Street Bridge as she drove home from work about 11 p.m. Jamel Davis saw a monster with wings perched on the northeast corner of the Walmart building near the Garden Center around midnight on January the 10th. Jasmine Williams reported a giant bat with red eyes flying over the community off Mallory Road just south of Highway 16 on the morning of January the 10th. Elia Johnson reported a really big bird thing flying over Broad Street near 16th Street on the evening of January the 10th. Finally, Bob Cash reported a really big bat-like creature flying over the Hobby Lobby on the evening of January the 10th. These reports were never made public. A person close to the investigation said the city did not want to alarm the citizens. We had hoped to find some answers before releasing these reports. I obtained them only after filing a Freedom of Information Act request. These sightings have bolstered the theory that the Mothman is an omen for what's to come. While the cause and effect relationship between the Mothman sightings and the tornado remains unclear, it's difficult to ignore the coincidence of the events. These sightings just prior to the tornado have certainly raised many people's suspicions that the Mothman is a harbinger of impending disaster. It's interesting to note that such sightings have been associated with disasters in the past. However, it's important to keep in mind that correlation does not necessarily imply causation. The Mothman has for centuries been the subject of Native American folklore, and some people believe it to have supernatural powers. The Mothman's appearance in Griffin has caused some concern among the locals, as some now believe the creature is certainly to be an omen of disasters.